Elector Steel. Demon Lord ranked 7th Demon Lord Farzier Wursp 2. Shut it. Your era will come to 4N Empirical Sword IF form / Harego. They. Stop. Stop it. Würzburg Demon Lord ranked 7th K Warrior Han Jae-woo. Failed to clearly Sung El Hal Jae-woo still playing that game? Yeah. How do I wake him up? Shake him gently, and then... I accidentally unplugged it. Hannah's words sting, but Jae-woo is too caught up in the game to notice. He's convinced that he's going to save the world, and nothing can stop him. Jae-woo's face lights up as he talks about borrowing money to buy a game capsule worth $1 billion. Hannah is shocked by the amount, and his expression says it all. Jae-woo is reckless and irresponsible, and he's going to pay the price for his actions.
You're going to pay this back? By writing a walkthrough guide for others? You're not even making progress in the game, Jae-woo. What makes you think you can pay off this debt?
And that's not even the worst part. And that's when the real problem begins. What will Jae-woo do when he's faced with the consequences of being disconnected? Who? A time-stopping spell? That at least an SSS rank skill. Does not skill at UST down the sep ver for bit. Do you believe? Anyway, came up with a new event for the 7th anniversary. 00 PM a new world has been opened. Plus BTH first to clear hahaha. I haven't even cleared the game as this character ye. The clues to reach the true ending mean, what? TF you give it at ZY right now you get a FRE gift. Tens, hundreds, thousands. Teach this is ridiculous. Aquila's first. Comma, Hanja 002ND. 130000 Ndulho 3RD 185430000. Whoa. Are you kidding?
Cook, why does it hurt? In a game. Did that girl? Serious? Aquila. Alright LYOTH. We're talking about the Garza raid quest, and Warrior Han Jae-woo's got the entire community in a frenzy. No one's managed to clear it yet, and Jae-woo's still stuck in this never-ending loop. His goal is to break through, but the obstacle is the sheer difficulty of the quest. He's tried over and over, but that one final boss keeps sending him back to square one. His action is to, wait, what's this? Is he questioning his own abilities?
I'm not that great, am I?
And that's a massive blow to his confidence. What happens now is anyone's guess. What's the cost of his self-doubt? Will he give up or push through? And that's not even the worst part.
Brian is blindsided as the dark secrets of the Garza raid reveal themselves, shattering the confidence of Warrior Han Jae-woo and leaving him questioning his very sanity. The emotional blow hits Han Jae-woo hard as he's forced to confront the gruesome reality of his own failures, his obsession with clearing the raid now threatening to consume him completely, utterly. As the door to the new world remains tantalizingly out of reach, Han Jae-woo is left broken and battered, his resolve wavering in the face of the Garza raid's unforgiving requirements, setting the stage for a catastrophic reckoning. Aquila, that wretch, I won't ever forgive her for this. Win 3/20ths 3/3, she just had to give me this trash character. Huh? Not to mention have 3 mana. How the hell Ami supposed to get the happy end? He thank Bear Grylls show by chance. Screw a gut lob at THM? Ahoy ho. Please pay for the DLC. What? You're making me a VIP? Pay for a DLC? Li Shanghao. Stay still, you lewd little brat. 1/20th you are losing HP, are you okay? At least tell me how much. Ho ho I what do you meany that? Nothing. Aquila, the warrior, finds herself in a predicament. Plus, Yun so nice. Oh, so that why Juju was making an acid bomb. Aldaida note whatever. When's the meal ready? Sunda note. Has a big appetite. So that's why you've been so rude lately. Kia let go of my ha. One might think that they work as a team due to their title. People fight without knowing this. It's so easy to make them fight each other. Aquila is stuck in the Fugu's snare. Her movement limited, her options dwindling. She needs to break free, but the Fugu's not letting go. She feels a surge of frustration, her hands clenched into fists. She decides to use her agility to outmaneuver the Fugu. Aquila's desperate cry for help is met with Bear's crushing blow, shattering the Fugu's grip as he unleashes a powerful strike, saving her from the deadly snare. Aquila's emotions are in turmoil, her gratitude and relief masking the deep-seated anger and hurt she's been hiding, a vulnerability that threatens to consume her entire being. The witch's sinister plans remain shrouded in darkness, as a chilling whisper echoes through the shadows. The Legion will rise, and Aquila's stats will be the last thing on her mind when the world collapses. The contract is signed, but you're already out of time. The young warrior stands face to face with a seasoned hunter, a cold smile spreading across the hunter's face. The warrior's eyes gleam with excitement, a thrill of adventure in his voice. Are you interested in monster hunting? The hunter's gaze doesn't waver, a sharp edge to his tone. Sorry, but I've got things to do. The warrior shrugs, a nonchalant air to his words. My name is... I always admire your spirit very well. I'll try hiding. Of course. Master, I'm looking forward to it. TL haha. I glad to have met such a great apprentice. Latin life still. I should make it too hard. And peekaboo, what the... There you're. Viewed it. Only been 3 ish'll know there you're. No way he come all the way here, right? Surely not. In a hellhound nest, the air is thick with the stench of rot and decay. The guardian of humanity, a mysterious figure, is here to teach Master a lesson. This is more than just a hunting trip, it's an initiation. Master is no ordinary student. That was hilarious, evading the witch like that. Priceless. So yeah, he definitely not an ordinary guy. Val Ph Erga. Aquila, am a god. Why would I look at a human? Im suppose T, you're always so serious. You used to be more fun back in Thed. That was a long time ago. By the way, did you really repay his? Why not? Ain't it entertaining? Look at him, he's so full off life. You're awful. Why thank you. Shay, part of your plan too? WWH, more like promising talent. Halo Guardian OE Humanity tip. Experience points gained through. The Guardian's words ignite a fire within Master, as he accepts the badge and its responsibilities, propelling him into a world of heightened danger and unrelenting challenges. Master's determination earns him a badge, but also comes at a cost. He must now confront the darkness within himself, as the weight of his new status settles heavy on his shoulders. As the hunter closes in, the protagonist finds himself caught between life and death, unsure if he'll be able to outrun his pursuer, or if his fate will be sealed in a brutal confrontation. Line, you are in an exhausted state. Why is this cursed forest so arduous? Ah, it only with this body that I could make it out in Jali Sang El Hall. Welcome to Francois, the best tavern in Frankfurt. Tiani Usayo ho ho ho. Expected. The tavern's the classic spot for Intel G drinks, lively folks, and the amazing smell of good food. People always talk more when they're in a good mood. And above all, sir, that name is around here. And WHY? He too dangerous. My boyfriend got involved with H-Babe. And that's not even the worst part. The tension is palpable. The protagonist, a skilled warrior known only as Babe, stands before Sayo, a customer in the tavern, with a look of desperation etched on his face. What does he want? Information. His past actions have caused harm to others, and he's desperate to learn more about the mercenary corps, Nosishi. But what's blocking him? The patrons around them, the innkeeper's wary gaze, and Sio's evasive answers. What happens? Babe presses Sayo for more information, but the old man refuses to budge. What is the cost? Babe's frustration grows, and he's faced with the possibility of losing his only lead. The unyielding mercenary, Max, lies defeated at Matono Ni's feet, his reputation shattered like fragile glass. In a world where power is everything, a young mercenary named Charlotte delights in mocking her opponents, until she sets her sights on a mysterious fighter known only by his code name, the Cold-Blooded Warrior. Charlotte's eyes ignite with a sinister determination as she fixes her gaze on Babe, the air thick with unspoken threats that hang like a guillotine over his head. Babe's reputation hangs by a thread as the weight of Charlotte's merciless vendetta crashes down on him, shattering the fragile balance of his carefully constructed facade. The giant man's ominous declaration still lingers in Babe's mind like a ticking time bomb, while Charlotte's ominous presence closes in, suffocating him with the very real possibility of imminent doom. The situation is escalating rapidly. The orcs are getting closer, and our shield is taking a beating. Bao orders his team to hold their ground, but the commander is unfazed. He's willing to do whatever it takes to protect his flag. The question is, what will Bao do next?
You had your chance. Now kneel.
The commander's cold declaration sends a chill down Bao's spine, but he's not one to back down from a challenge. The orc army closes in, Bao's shield on the brink of collapse as the commander's flag teeters within reach. A desperate gamble that could make or break their fate. Bao feels his resolve shaken, his bond with his team fraying as the commander's unyielding determination forces him to confront the true cost of his actions. In a world where martial prowess reigns supreme, a legendary warrior emerges, his name struck in terror by the enemy's lips Kale, the Cold-Blooded Warrior. All troops fall silent as he draws his sword, his unyielding gaze fixed on the Countess of Ryder Bayern, an aristocrat renowned for her unmatched skill. "You'll be the first to fall before me," Kale declares, his voice dripping with cold calculation, as the air thickens with anticipation of a duel for the ages. Valpurgi's stands as the epitome of a warrior, her skills honed to perfection as she clashes with her opponent in a dance of steel and fury. Valpurgi's is not one to mince words. Nora's expression remains neutral, but her body language betrays her unease. Valpurgi's continues, "At the moment, I am no longer the Elector Steel." Nora's eyes flicker, searching for an opening. Nora's silence is telling, her hands clenched into fists. Valpurgi's presses on. "I should have been more cautious." Nora's jaw clenches, her teeth grinding together. The air is thick with tension. The Countess of Ryder Bayern, Nora, is amused. Bahama, Arya, is enjoying the chaos. But what does Arya want? She wants to see how far her skills can take her. The obstacle is Nora, who's not backing down. The soldiers whose lives Arya saved, thanks to Bahama's efforts, are now alive because of her bravery. What happens next? The Elector praises Bahama, offering 300 florins. But what is the cost of this reward? Bahama's words reveal nothing of her thoughts.
Okay. I'll call you Dame Valpurgi's, then.
And that's not even the worst part. Bahama is already changing, her relationship with the Elector shifting. What comes next changes everything. Arya's interaction with Bahama, Arya, seems genuine. What does Bahama want right now, specifically? She's looking for a connection, a sense of belonging. But what blocks her? Her past mistakes haunt her, making it hard to trust others. Arya Bahama stands at a crossroads, her reputation on the line as the Elector's offer hangs precariously in the balance, threatening to change everything. Bahama's deep-seated insecurities are ripped open, leaving her vulnerable as she struggles to reconcile her desperate need for connection with the crushing weight of her past mistakes. As Nora's offer of trust hangs in the air, Bahama's trust issues and the secrets she keeps linger ominously, setting the stage for a catastrophic confrontation that will leave no one unscathed. As expected, everyone's thrown off. Well, it can't be helped. What do you think? With my limited perspective, I didn't see the full picture yet. Ha 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 ha. Ano, what kino of nonsense are you worried about? Inoio, your grace. He must pick io up some scrap of info, your grace, thun. There a saying that goes, Even when crossing a stone bridge mo dare a lowly countess speak. This man is an elector. No, as expected of Valpurgi's. Even the steel elector can tsk fine then. See. Tell me how you see this war. 鲁作. Yes. The air was electric with foreboding as Sir Valor stormed into the council chambers, his piercing gaze sweeping the room. Valpurgi's, the enigmatic warrior, stood by his side, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. The red dragon fruits on the table, a symbol of the impending chaos, seemed to radiate an otherworldly energy. This was no ordinary convergence, and Valor's voice was laced with a warning. Something is amiss, and I aim to uncover the truth. The mercenary's words hang in the air. A promise. Valpurgi's nods, a small smile playing on her lips. She's gonna make this happen. And she's gonna make it big.
The mercenary's expression turns from determination to frustration, his eyes narrowing as he talks back to the elector's aide. He wants to prove himself, to show that he's more than just a reckless mercenary. But the aide's words cut deep, reminding him of his past mistakes. The mercenary's pride is wounded, and he's not going to back down without a fight.
You had your chance. Now kneel.
The elector's aide stands firm, his voice cold and unyielding. He knows the mercenary's past, and he's not afraid to use it against him. The mercenary's anger is palpable, but the aide's words are a harsh reality check.
The mercenary's eyes burn with a fierce determination as he prepares to take down the elector's aide, the tension between them hanging in the air like a ticking time bomb, ready to unleash chaos. The mercenary's ruthless ambition gains momentum, but at what cost? His relationships with those around him begin to fray, leaving him isolated and feared, his true loyalties hanging precariously in the balance. The elector's aide stands firm, refusing to back down from the mercenary's aggressive posture. Their silent standoff a powder keg waiting to ignite, threatening to shatter the fragile peace that hangs precariously in the air. On ho, it already started. I need to hurry too. Yeah. Lee Sang-hal, uncle, why would you commit such betrayal? And yet you still don't understand your situation. Well, are you going through puberty or something? Just accept the guys, tie him up now. Yes, sir. Ugh. No. If only had listened Tohat Valor said back Moy were damned. With someone like that. G000 right, sister. Guardian of Humanity Trivia Demon King Pez MUT of Blua. The protagonist's desperate attempt to escape is foiled as the guards close in, their steel sharpened to strike, and Brian's voice echoes in his mind, pushing him to make a fatal decision. Anno's grip on reality begins to slip as the weight of his failure crushes him. The memory of his uncle's warning seared into his mind like a branding iron, fueling his determination to survive. As darkness closes in, Anno's thoughts are consumed by the haunting voice of Brian, whose ominous words now taunt him, Pesamut, that wretch, leaving him shaken to the core. Take that back right now. For generations, the position of elector has held the right to it. Absolutely not a position to be taken lightly. You guys, did that hit a nerve? Kwaya ha ha ha. Nice scream, huh? Good in OWI really want Timor. Mko Sir Valor. But think this is as far as I can go. Oh, not yet, sis. And what the dog corpse? Block. Yoloyan V. Valor. Kai's grip on his sword tightens. He's not going to let OWI get the upper hand. Kai realizes he needs to change his strategy. OWI's speed and agility are making it hard for him to react. Today, I'm a ranged damage dealer. His breathing is steady, but his mind is racing. Kai's eyes dart between OWI and the surrounding environment, searching for an opening. His grip on his sword tightens. Kai, ahaha, can handle a bullet like it in mid-air. The real problem is already in motion. Kai's face sets in a cold expression, and his footwork becomes more deliberate. He's not going to let OWI get the better of him.
Now that he jazzes down, Kai's priority shifts to securing the loot. That cloak alone is worth a small fortune. A swift move, and Kai is rummaging through Hijaz's belongings. He finds some interesting items. A magic binding rope, a physical enhancement potion, and a venom of the poison dragon. I need to hurry before it's too late. Kai knows time is of the essence. The Elector's position is at stake, and the conflict is escalating. He has to act fast. He takes out the healing potion and uses it on himself. Valpurgi's. Time to get moving. As Kai sets off, the ground beneath him shudders. The real problem is already in motion. The Elector's right to choose the next emperor is at risk. What's the cost of Kai's actions?
Kale's whip slices through the air, but the mysterious warrior dodges each blow with uncanny ease, leaving Kale's precision to falter in the face of unyielding ferocity. Emotions run high as Hama's brutal reputation is revealed to be a mere facade, hiding a complex soul torn between a desire for connection and the weight of his unyielding ferocity on the battlefield. As Kai claims Hijaz's legendary cloak, the real cost of his actions becomes alarmingly apparent. The Elector's right to choose the next emperor hangs by a thread, and the consequences of his actions threaten to destabilize the entire nation. Your debt is due, and you're about to become a medical test subject against your will. The procedure directly in your brain is no joke, and that doctor is not here to ask questions. Oka LSNR is about to lose control, and the medical professional is getting ready to cut through your numbness. Every second counts, and he's the only one who can stop this nightmare from unfolding. What's the point of fighting back when you're strapped to a table?
Stop.
His hands tremble as he tries to shake off the numbness. The doctor's eyes flicker with curiosity, and the medical equipment hums in the background.
Come onion, let go, but I'll take 1 apple. How much is it? Whoa, just florin'. Thank y'all. Really, thank you. Thanks. See you again, mister. I was such a brat when I lived alone. Wow, Wim, I was always be. This game is really charming. Aside from my face hurting a bit, I doing great. Jing, you're whiver anyway. I'm going back to the convent soon. Even if not from meter convent, will definitely reward. Norin TWH, what are you talking about? Sister Angela, Sir Valor is we have no choice. Currently, the convent is Elender emergency protocol. The ref.
Jay's fingers crash against the keyboard as the virtual world erupts into chaos. His 5 years of progress shattered by an unforeseen threat in the blink of an eye. Oka LSNR's grip on his sanity falters as the ghosts of his past close in. His fragile sense of self threatened by the darkness he's desperate to outrun. His heart heavy with despair. As the convent teeters on the brink of collapse, Sister Angela's words hang in the air like a death sentence. Valor's true intentions remain shrouded in mystery, and the very future of the convent hangs precariously in the balance.
WH, what are you talking about? Sister Angela? Sir Valor is we have no choice. Currently, the convent is under emergency protocol. Therefore, the cold-blooded warrior, while things have gotten a bit tangled, was planning to REQ Heart of the Angel. Sir Valor? Apologies for making such an esteemed lest stay in a humble. Sir Valor, this is serious, it's confidential BLT. My lip good. I trust you. But I just spoke with High Abbess Angela a moment ago. Just hear me alt. Believe it or notice read the 7 sacred scriptures. So you do know it. The text said to contain every detail ABO. And that's not even the worst part. Angela's already counting down the seconds, hoping Sir Valor makes it to the High Abbess in time. Fuyam Yam used the convent relic, Chung on the High Abbess. Sister Angela's hands shake uncontrollably as she begs Sir Valor to save the High Abbess, the weight of her desperation hanging precariously in the balance. Angela's composure is shattered, her fear and anxiety now a palpable force, threatening to consume her as the convent's fragile existence hangs precariously in the balance. The convent's fate hangs by a thread as Angela's countdown begins.
the seconds ticking away ominously as Sir Valor's arrival draws closer, but the darkness closing in with unspeakable terrors. Use the convent relic, Chung on the high abyss. Come here, then transfer it into someone else and keep I which makes me the perfect vessel for the curse. Tempting. Indeed, however, Margaret, Angela, and Sir Valor are on the brink of disaster. Valor wants to break the curse, but it's a gamble that could destroy everything. Valor's arrogance blocks the path to saving Margaret, and Angela is caught in the middle. Valor's deal with the demon lords is a disaster waiting to happen, and the High Abbess is appalled. Valor's recklessness will lead to a war that will consume them all. The answer is already too late. Margaret, Angela, and Sir Valor are in a world of chaos. Valor wants to break the curse, but it's a risk that could destroy everything. Valor's deal with the demon lords has unleashed a dark power, and the High Abbess is powerless.
Stop. You're wrong.
Sir Valor tries to sit up, but a wave of dizziness washes over him, forcing him back onto the ground. Angela rushes to his side, her hands hovering over his face as if searching for an answer. Sir Valor's eyes flutter closed, and he mutters something incoherent. Angela's grip on his hand tightens, her knuckles white with worry. She's scared, but she's not going to let him go. The silence between them is oppressive, the only sound the heavy breathing of the people around them. What comes next changes everything.
I am the High Abbess of Valpurga Convent.
High Abbess Margaret stands over Sir Valor, her expression a mask of concern. Sir Valor's desperate gamble unleashes a dark realm, as he faces an endless horde of undead, the king of necromancers looming over him with malevolent intent. Angela's world is turned upside down as she's forced to confront the consequences of Sir Valor's reckless actions, her bonds of trust and loyalty straining to breaking point. As High Abbess Margaret's true identity is revealed, Angela's eyes lock with hers, a silent understanding dawning. But what does it mean for the convent, and for the delicate balance of power within its walls? Ha! Margaret, please have some decency. Decency? Angela, you've gotten old, and all you do is nag. Ha! Done BTI force. As Kale's fingers brush against Alara's, the weight of his armor a sudden burden, he gasps in a mix of guilt and relief. I'm sorry, he blurts, his voice laced with sincerity. Alara's eyes widen, her cheeks flushing as she takes in the genuine remorse. What she doesn't expect is the rush of affection that follows, a spark that ignites a desperate need to give in to her own desires.
Stop. You're wrong.
Margaret's persistence has finally paid off. Valpurgi's has unlocked the romance route with her. His eyes widen in shock, and he stammers, "Oh, what do I do with a man like me?" It's clear he's not thrilled about it. This is a major plot twist, and Valpurgi's is about to find himself in a whole new world of complicated emotions.
Get used to it.
Your Highness, this is an emergency. Give it back. Prince Philip, I've come for you, Prince Philip, the mercenary you met, Valor Steo Valor. Valpurgi's is underground, surrounded by cursed magic artifacts, descending deeper into darkness as Margaret's desperation fuels the chaos unfolding around him. Margaret's relentless pursuit has unlocked a romance route with Valpurgi's, leaving her ecstatic, but also vulnerable to the darkness that threatens to consume him, jeopardizing her own humanity. As Valpurgi's succumbs to the cursed artifacts, Margaret's frantic cries grow louder, while Valor's appearance sparks a mix of relief and unease, raising questions about the true nature of loyalty and sacrifice. Kale, the infamous cold-blooded warrior, stood before a mangy pup with an unsettling grin. You, who were once a mere stray, have grown into a formidable beast, one that doesn't know how to fear a tiger. His eyes gleamed with a mixture of curiosity and calculation as he observed the pup's transformation into a ruthless hunter, mirroring his own ferocity. The battlefield shook as Riker, the cold-blooded warrior, clashed with his opponents in a flurry of steel and magic. His voice boomed. Fool's play. This is just a waste of mana. With a swift kick, he sent his foes flying, the ground shuddering beneath their fall. The Steel Elector's expression falters, and for a moment, Kale sees a glimmer of doubt. But it's too late. The Steel Elector's made his move, and now Kale's in a tight spot. He needs to think fast if he wants to get out of this alive. The Steel Elector offers him a deal, a healing potion in exchange for his loyalty.
My absence will only bring joy to the other electorates.
Kale unleashes a torrent of venomous words, the deadly poison hanging in the air as Pippenheim's mocking sneer is met with a blaze of fury, their fates hanging precariously in the balance. The Steel Elector's betrayal has shattered Kale's trust, leaving a gaping wound that threatens to consume him whole, his once unshakable resolve now fraying at the edges. As Pippenheim's battle-hardened gaze meets Kale's, the two warriors are locked in a silent standoff, their next moves hanging precariously in the balance, their very lives hanging by a thread.
Kia 3 SS rank skills, a rank and 1 A rank? This is what you get for someone like Elector. 3 years of grinding, and this is the reward? Jin's hands won't stop moving. He checks the skills again. Lunar Shadow Sword Arts SS rank. Prinzessin Coral Leah SS rank. Empire Agitation a rank. Mephistopheles Acting SS rank. Dignity of the Great Leaders SS rank. This is just the beginning. Jean whispers, his eyes gleaming with excitement. Jean feels a surge of power coursing through him. He's on the cusp of something big. And that's not even the worst part. TSK. A barrier? Bo, you've been blocked. Jin's body language changes. Jin's lord gives a cold command, and Jin's eyes flicker with uncertainty. He's unsure of what to do. This isn't the best time. What kind of tantrum is she going to throw now? Lord Elector's uncertainty is palpable, and his eyes dart towards the door, anticipating a potential scene. His hands are clenched, a sign of his growing frustration. Why would Roll-in think we have thatching? We didn't even know way. Is there a mastermind behind all of this?
Jin's eyes blaze with fury as he confronts the prince's desperate underling, his snarl threatening to unleash a maelstrom of violence in the silent, tense room. Lawrence's Lord Elector is now holding the reins, his grip on power tightening as he gazes triumphantly at the Golden Imperial Edict. But at what cost to his own dignity and humanity? Fenrir's fate hangs precariously in the balance as Jin's Lord Elector proudly proclaims his appointment to the Imperial throne, leaving the Demon King's intentions ominously shrouded in darkness.
Merchants rush to gather their goods, but they're not the only ones on the move. Roland, a merchant with connections, is making his way to the guild leader's side, a sly grin spreading across his face. His hands are already moving, counting the guild leader's profits, calculating his next move. The guild leader's eyes scan the horizon, searching for a way out, but there's no escape. The city is burning, and they're trapped in the Inferno. Valpurgi's is finally on the move. He's removing his helmet, and the merchant guild leader looks like he's about to pass out. His face is red, and his mouth is agape. It what I gathered from the remnants of Philip gang. Woa! Okay, Asai Hi Hlim can buy any snack you want. What D-Valor? Are you like some kind of saint of compassion or so suddenly you're looking K? Please stop. You Valor, what are those bundles of paper? And that's not even the worst part. Valpurgis' words hang in the air, a challenge to the guild leader. Rollins' eyes narrow, his jaw clenched in anticipation. The guild leader's expression remains unchanged, but a hint of surprise flickers in his eyes. The tension between them is palpable. What will happen next? You're making a huge mistake.
Valpurgis' words hang in the air, a challenge to the guild leader, as tensions escalate and the room holds its collective breath in anticipation of a violent confrontation unfolding before their eyes. Rollins' eyes narrow, his jaw clenched in anticipation. As Valpurgis' frustration and desperation reach a boiling point, her determination to help drive her to potentially catastrophic decisions. The guild leader's expression remains unchanged, but a hint of surprise flickers in his eyes, leaving the future of the blockade and its consequences hanging precariously in the balance, as the situation teeters on the brink of chaos.
Mar, what are those gloves? They're an upgraded version of the magic zipper I just opened. Oh wow. I've never seen something like this before. Did they why are you stopping? Philly? Oh dear. Lalalob non you welcome to of Plusen NTHS warrior. Color Vor Bor finally made it in. Cubalt's dark eyes locked onto the producer, a hint of a smirk spreading across his chiseled face. The ring, as in, the same one you've been trying to bury? He growled, his deep voice dripping with disdain. The producer's smile faltered, but Cubalt's gaze only intensified, his voice taking on a cold, calculated tone. You know, I've been watching you, and I know exactly what you're hiding. Cubalt's got a plan, and Philly's about to become a key player. He's got a reputation to uphold, but Philly's not buying it. He's got a theory that Cubalt's trying to use him for something bigger.
You have no idea what's waiting. This is where things get intense.
And that's not even the worst part. Philly spots a figure in the distance, approaching him with a confident stride. It's Celia, the merchant guild leader. She looks calm and collected, but Philly can sense the tension beneath the surface. He's not sure what she wants or what she's capable of. His instincts are screaming at him to be cautious.
Stats maxed. New skill unlocked.
On the Dark Continent, a whispered legend spread of Cubalt, the Shadow King, an idealistic demon monarch with a heart of gold, a mind sharper than any sword. His unparalleled intellect and silver tongue could disarm even the Emperor's most vigilant guards. Rivals to his title, like the infamous Roland, knew Cubalt's cunning prowess. They trembled at the thought of his razor-sharp wit and unparalleled eloquence.
Philly's world is set ablaze as Cubalt's hidden agenda is revealed, his calculation and manipulation sparking a high-stakes game that threatens to destroy everything he holds dear. Philly's grip on reality begins to slip as the weight of the case crushes him, his sense of trust and loyalty torn apart as he's left with more questions than answers about his allies. Philly's heart freezes as Celia's calm facade cracks, revealing a sinister underbelly that threatens to consume him. But who can he trust when allegiances are blurred and loyalties tested by the whispers of Cubalt's Shadow King legend?
Are you referring to Dresden? Yes, that correct. The Celia Merchant Guild and the Ritter K are bound by a massive debt. They are in a debtor-creditor rel. There has to be something. There has to be some way to save her. Marin's father is beside himself with worry. Extraordinary adventurer, please bring back my daughter. He begs, his eyes pleading for a miracle. Well, in any case, that's why I came here to make a deal, he says, a hint of desperation creeping into his voice. Ugh, bad breath, skill, Mephistopheles acting, has been activated with devil what your daughter needs most right now in some elixir. It the heartfelt love of her father. Marin's health is dire, and she needs an elixir made from the rarest medicinal herb, earth flower. Kuba's concern is clear, he wants to save Marin. The Ritter family's massive debt to the Celia Merchant Guild blocks Kuba's goal. He decides to take on the debt, and his determination to save Marin grows. Kuba's grip on Marin's wrist tightens, his eyes pleading with her to listen. The outcome is uncertain. Will she obey or resist?
Kuba's desperate plea hangs in the air as Marin's eyes lock onto the birth flower, her desire to taste its sweetness intensifying her struggle against his grip. Marin's condition has left her father, Dorian, a shell of his former self, his pride shattered by his inability to save his daughter, now watching helplessly as she teeters on the brink of collapse. As Kuba's hand tightens around Marin's wrist, the outcome hangs precariously in the balance, her fate now dependent on her choice to obey or resist, Kuba's plea echoing through the tense silence.
You brats. Dig properly. Look at this. So clean. I told you to dig without damaging Tinohoa, hear me? Bot. Moot. Oin skill activation. Absorb tier. Few koloolol, you brats, why did you even attack? The proficiency of O rise. Excellent, excellent. Why did you attack if you call DNT even win, isn't that right? The brats are at it again, and this time they're after something much bigger than just causing chaos. They've set their sights on the roots of a valuable plant, something that could bring them a serious payday. But what blocks them is their own arrogance.
The brats are in over their heads, and they don't even realize it. They're trying to negotiate with someone who's not interested in listening.
Stop. You're wrong. But this is no ordinary negotiation. The stakes are too high, and the consequences are already too late. By the way, it seems you're quite busy with all the noise around you. I'll hang up now. But it's not just about hanging up the phone. The real problem is already in motion. And that's not even the worst part.
Nohoa is now in a full-on duel with the brats, his sword flashing in the sunlight. The brats are no pushovers, but Nohoa's skills are on point. He's got this under control, or so it seems. Kale's grip on Anagan tightens as the reality of his failure crashes down around him. The weight of 1,000 unvanquished monsters suffocating his resolve to avenge his fallen comrades. Brian's emotional vulnerability is laid bare as the darkness of his past failures threatens to consume him. The burden of his guilt and shame festering like an open wound that refuses to heal. Nohoa's world teeters on the brink of disaster as the brat's merciless onslaught sends him stumbling backward. His eyes fixed in terror on the cold, calculating gaze of his opponent, victory hanging precariously in the balance. And that's not even the worst part. The demon dragon's words are like a punch to the gut, leaving him reeling. The protagonist's final thought is a desperate plea for his master's life. He knows he's about to die, but he's not giving up. He looks up at Dorian, hoping against hope that his master will somehow survive. The demon dragon's words are a cruel mockery, but the protagonist doesn't care. He's too busy trying to save his master. His voice is barely a whisper, but it's a testament to his determination. He's not going to give up without a fight.
The streets of Korea are about to be rewritten by the enigmatic assassin, Ryu. His reputation as the cold-blooded warrior spreads like a virus, striking fear into the hearts of those who dare to cross him. With each calculated move, he unravels the tangled threads of corruption that grip the city, leaving a trail of defeated foes in his wake. The protagonist's voice is a mixture of desperation and hope as he tries to negotiate with the demon dragon. He's pleading with it to spare his life, but it's like trying to reason with a force of nature. The demon dragon's words are cold and detached. Loading, Odgash's eyes snap back to reality, and he sees the demon dragon looming over him, its words a stark reminder of his mortality. He tries to make a deal with the demon dragon, but it's a desperate attempt to cling to life. What's the demon dragon's price? Odgash is now face to face with the great demon king, and he's trying to convince him to join forces. The demon king's daughter, Calzone, is right there, and she's not happy about it. Odgash promises her that if they succeed, he'll grant one of her dearest wishes. The stakes are clear. Convince the demon king or lose everything.
My lord, I promised. Calzone's words are laced with a hint of desperation.
The demon dragon unleashes a devastating roar as it prepares to deliver the final blow, its fiery breath illuminating Odgash's desperate face in a moment of truth. Odgash's attempt to cling to life has led him to the darkest corners of his own morality, confronting the harsh reality that he may never see his loved ones again, including his daughter Calzone. The great demon king Dorian is mere moments away from delivering the fatal blow, leaving Odgash's fate hanging precariously in the balance as he frantically tries to negotiate with the demon dragon. He turns around, trying to see what's happening. That's when he sees it. His brother, Phillips, is hurt. He rushes over to help him, but Phillips waves him off. "It's nothing, master. Just a scratch while gathering herbs," he says. But Brian can tell it's more than that. He's trying to be careful, but Brian knows that if he scratches the roots, something terrible will happen.
I'll be fine, brother. Looks like we're brothers. Brian looks at Phillips, trying to reassure him, but he can't shake the feeling that something's off. He remembers Charlotte's younger sister, and a pang of sadness hits him. He's not sure what's going on, but he knows it's not good.
The commoner class is suddenly unlocked and Aquila is...
Phillips is frozen in shock, his mind reeling with the sudden turn of events. The dragon is now blocking his path, its fiery breath illuminating the dark clearing. Phillips takes a step back, his heart pounding in his chest. He's not sure what to do next. The dragon turns its gaze towards Phillips, its eyes blazing with intensity. Philip's breath catches in his throat as he realizes that this might be his only chance to escape.
Valor. Arrived. Just as you said.
Phillips is getting restless, ready to move. He's had enough of standing still, enough of being trapped. His eyes scan the surroundings, looking for any opportunity to break free.
Philip's life hangs in the balance as a towering dragon blocks his path, its fiery breath illuminating the dark clearing, forcing him to take a desperate step back. Philip's resolve is shaken to the core as he's confronted by the stranger. His composure shattered, leaving him reeling with uncertainty, and his trust in himself severely tested. Philip's eyes widen in horror as he charges into the fray, only to be outmaneuvered by the cunning hobgoblin, leaving him reeling, his strength and strategy momentarily broken.
The people are in a state of panic. The city gates lie in ruin, and no one dares to approach the demon dragon's palace. The silence is deafening. His trusted advisor, Demon Lord Olga, has been trying to reach him, but her messages have fallen on deaf ears.
Demon Dragon, what's wrong?
The demon dragon's eyes remain fixed on the horizon, his gaze burning with an inner fire. His advisors tremble at his feet, and the real reason behind his silence is about to be revealed. The human's face falls, his eyes widening in shock. The demon dragon's smile falters, his eyes flashing with anger.
You had your chance. Now kneel.
Culkin's eyes flash with a hint of surprise, yet steely resolve as he exchanges a fierce stare with his young protege, his voice low and even. You're still as hot-headed as ever, kid, and you think I'm just going to forgive you for abandoning me in the demon dragon fight? You've got another think coming, kid. In the scorching deserts of Azur, where warriors are forged like steel, Amon, the cold-blooded warrior, stands as an untamed force of nature. His piercing gaze sweeps across the battlefield, an unspoken warning to his foes that he will not hesitate to unleash his wrath upon them. The demon dragon unleashes his fury, striking down Arya's companion and sending shockwaves through the room. As chaos erupts and alliances are put to the test in a single, explosive moment. The emotional stakes are higher than ever for Amon, as he grapples with the consequences of his past actions, his sense of duty clashing with his growing sense of humanity, and his compassion for those he has sworn to protect. The fate of the fragile alliance hangs precariously in the balance, as Prince Liam's fate is decided by the demon dragon's actions, and the future of Azur's fragile peace teeters on the brink of collapse.
Lord Kaimars is already dead, his friend's brutal betrayal only just beginning. Gorakalgam and Kaltas, his most trusted allies, have turned against him. The number one demon lord's demise is a shockwave felt across the realm. From this moment on, the number one demon lord is us. Kaimar's daughter, Calliope, is consumed by anger and pain. She vows to avenge her father's death. Her target is clear, Gorakalgam and Kaltas. Question is, where do you start? Grow up, Calliope. We're not just ordinary demons. Calliope's investigation leads her to a hidden location, where she meets Archer, Kaimar's most skilled warrior.
Calliope's anger boils over as she confronts Archer about his role in Kaimar's death. She wants to know the truth, but Archer blocks her with his icy gaze. To think you've obeyed for 50 years without even knowing who your true enemy was. That's impressive loyalty, Archer says, his voice devoid of emotion. Calliope's eyes flash with anger, and she takes a step forward. "You're not even human," she growls, her voice barely contained. Archer's expression remains unreadable, but his words betray a hint of amusement. "What you do with it is up to you," he says, his voice dripping with confidence.
Trivia of Guardian of Humanity Kaimar's the former number on. The truth about Kaimar's death is finally revealed as Archer's detached tone hangs in the air, leaving Calliope reeling with anger and desperation for answers that refuse to be spoken. Calliope's world is shattered as she's forced to confront the dark reality of her father's demise, her trust in Archer crumbling like the fragile facade he's carefully constructed around himself. Archer's cryptic words leave Calliope's emotional landscape in shambles, her rage and frustration threatening to boil over as she's left with more questions than answers, torn between her loyalty and her desire for the truth. What a disappointment, demonic dragon. To think you fall so freaking you. T6 stung. Akaka, how disappointing, demonic dragon. I thought Ot no knock gladly accept my offer. Okay. Zio freaking you. If that what you want, it can be helped. The air is electric as the legendary demonic dragon emerges, its scales glistening like polished ebony. This is the moment the cold-blooded warrior has been waiting for, a showdown between strength and wills. The beast's eyes fix on the warrior, and a low, menacing growl ripples through the air, daring him to take the challenge. The stage is set for a clash of titans.
Akaka's face twists in a scowl, his voice dripping with disdain. Akaka wants to prove his strength, to emerge victorious. But the demonic dragon's unyielding resolve blocks his path. "Brat, you're late." The air thickens with tension as the two enemies face off against each other. What comes next changes everything. The demonic dragon's face twists in a snarl, his voice dripping with malice. He's not here to make friends either. He wants to prove his strength, to show Akaka who's boss. "Don't you have anything to say to me?" Akaka's past is filled with pain and betrayal. His father, the former first-ranked Demon King Kaimars, was killed by the demonic dragon's sworn enemy, Odgash, and Akaka vows to take revenge against him. But the answer is already too late.
Kale's sword slices through the darkness, its cold blade whispering a promise of death to the shadows as he confronts Akira, the enigmatic assassin, in a fierce battle of wills and steel. The tension between Akaka and the demonic dragon reaches a boiling point, but Akaka's determination to learn the truth about the dragon's past leads him down a treacherous path of discovery and danger. The demonic dragon's malice and anger simmer just below the surface, his eyes blazing with a fierce determination to dominate Akaka, setting the stage for an explosive confrontation that will shake the very foundations of their world.
"Father, don't you have anything to say to me?" "Ha, my daughter. Calliope, you have finally mastered the rite of the true name. Now hurry and use that powerful magic to get rid of that PS. Are you just gonna let him keep talking? TSK, do you?" Ha, what is this Kaimar Sandy? We're drinking companions. There's no way would kill him. Noon Kaimar skill. Deny, refute, meaningless. But why Kaim? Mungsoy I see, and that's not even the worst part. No, Calliope says, her voice firm. She doesn't back down. Kaimar smirks, but his eyes flicker with something else. Uncertainty? Finally, I've done it, he says, his words dripping with menace.
Finally, I've done it.
Calliope is fighting to protect herself, but she's scared her instincts scream at her to run. But her pride won't let her back down. She sees Kaimar charging at her, his blade glinting in the sunlight, and her heart skips a beat. He's a master warrior, and she's just a novice. What can she do against him? She summons every ounce of strength she has, and the fragile threads of fate were about to be torn apart as Lord Valor and his companions made a desperate gamble, risking their lives to bring back a mysterious elixir. And now, the young warrior stood before the enigmatic figure, his voice trembling with excitement as he asked the question that would change everything. "Then, if I drink all of this, Will you grant my wish, Dad? In the dark alleys of the Azure Dominion, an infamous name echoed through the shadows, Lord Valor. His reputation struck fear in the hearts of his enemies, and whispers of his cold-blooded tactics spread like wildfire. Who's there? Guildmaster Valor and Lord Valor, trying to come to a decision. What do they want? To resolve the debt transfer issue and figure out a way to deal with the elector's involvement. What blocks them? The complexity of the issue and their own conflicting interests. What happens? Guildmaster Valor reveals that the elector has offered to extend the repayment period by 2 years if they acknowledge the debt transfer. What is the cost? The tension between Guildmaster Valor and Lord Valor grows, and Calliope's anxiety reaches new heights.
You are to resolve this matter by any means necessary and return.
Lord Valor's companions are plunged into chaos as the Elector of Saxony's involvement blows the debt transfer wide open, threatening to upend the fragile balance of power. Ivy's frustration boils over as she struggles to keep her emotions in check, but deep down, she's losing faith in Lord Valor's leadership, her trust shattered by the latest twist of events. The fate of the Azure Dominion hangs precariously in the balance as Lord Valor's companions are forced to confront the Elector's demands, their every move dictated by the Elector's ruthless ambition, and Lord Valor's own cold calculation. The proficiency of the rank skill Undead Summoning has Inker Daywalkers, TLN Daywalker, a term referring to vampires who have overcome. Greetings, my lord. You, as well as the other vampires, have now become full FLE. Now go. Yes, my lord. Are you leaving already? I've prepared what you requested. It's a carriage crafted by the finest artisan, one that only I also included a fee for the herbs and some travel funds. What do you plan to use such a luxury for? T. Oh, you came too? Even if you've gotten healthier, you still it a gift. Yes.
Stats maxed. New skill unlocked. The Lord is already thinking about the next step. He knows there are more challenges ahead. He's confident in his ability to overcome them, and he's eager to get started. The Lord is still thinking about the next step, and he's already anticipating the challenges ahead. He knows that the stakes are high, and that he'll need all his skills to succeed.
And that's when the associate's face falls. They realize that their skills are no longer relevant, that the game has changed. They're keeping up, but they're falling behind. The daughter's words are like a punch to the gut, a reminder of the associate's own limitations. The scene shifts to the daughter's inner circle, the people who care for her, who want to see her succeed. They're all talking about her beauty, but one person seems unimpressed, the Lord, who's just rolled his eyes and muttered something under his breath. The Lord is still trying to wrap his head around the situation, but it's clear he's not thrilled about this development. And now the daughter is walking straight up to him, a smile on her face.
For me, this person is more important than the Emperor and any Demon King.
The associate's face falls as they realize their skills are no longer relevant. Their world turned upside down in an instant by the daughter's enigmatic smile. The emotional stakes are rising. The associate's sense of purpose is crumbling, leaving them vulnerable to the whims of the ruthless royal daughter who has just upended their life. The cliffhanger hangs in the balance. Will the associate be able to adapt to this new reality? Or will they be cast aside like a broken toy by the woman who is now their boss? The Demon King of Rose role in her beauty and voice made Eve the story behind her crown. My heart will never change. So please, I beg you, Dad. Miss, here, take this too. I made it together with Uncle Oj since you're so pretty. I'll give you the one that turned out. I see. It seems I already have no place to belong. Amidst the imperial capital's suffocating economic blockade, Emperor AIA's royal banquet was a carefully crafted trap. The tables were set, the guests were aligned, and the empire's fate hung in the balance. The cold-blooded warrior, Arya, stood at the edge of the imperial palace, her piercing gaze fixed on the emperor's throne, her mind racing with the devastating revelation that was about to be unleashed. You're making a decision, one that involves Franziv, the Emperor of the Empire. You're considering his words, his warning, and the consequences of your actions.
But once I heard the circumstances, my heart softened.
She stands unwavering, Arya's eyes locked on Lord Kymar's as his words twist into a sinister proposal, threatening to upend the fragile balance of power within the Empire's crumbling walls. Arya's resolve is tempered by the weight of her decision, balancing the fate of her homeland against the crushing loneliness she'll face if she fails to reclaim her rightful place among the nobility. Margaret Avon's long-forgotten name lingers in the air, a haunting specter of family secrets and hidden agendas, foreshadowing a catastrophic reckoning that will shatter the Empire's very foundations. The stakes rise. Every second matters. TH Warrior, before we begin looking at the prosperous scenery of the cap. Enough with the pleasantries. Such a weasel. In the short time since he entered politics, he's managed to, and even turned them into his allies. But even so, he's still nothing but a drunk mouse in front of is what he probably thinking. I guess he knows everything. He'll just talk my way through TH. You're quite cheerful, agent you? So, tell me, what is it, yo? Kale, the cold-blooded warrior, stands before the Emperor, his piercing eyes a testament to his unyielding conviction. I merely wish to repay your Majesty's grace with a small token of loyalty, he says, his deep voice dripping with sincerity. The Emperor's face twists in rage, but Kale's words are a mere facade, a calculated move to test the Emperor's resolve. As a humble subject of this glorious empire, you think to be swayed by such sugar-coated lies? The Emperor snarls, his voice trembling with anger. The weasel is taken away, but the king's satisfaction is short-lived. He knows the situation is far from resolved. Kai is reason with him, but he's not listening.
The narrator wants to train every warrior and prepare them for the battle ahead. But the demonic dragon is not the only enemy they face. The Emperor has declared an economic blockade on Roll-In's territory, and now Saint Margaret of the Sisterhood is back from the dead. The narrator must proceed carefully with their plans. His biggest challenge is the economic blockade, a huge obstacle that could cripple his forces. He decides to head to Gross Lochner with his warriors. The narrator takes the first step toward his goal, but the Emperor's move has put him in an incredibly tough spot.
Good. Head to Gross Lochner.
But the real problem is already in motion.
Kai's expression twists in disgust as he calls out the Lord, his clenched fists radiating a fierce determination to cut through the facade. The emotional stakes are at an all-time high as Kai's bitter distrust ripples through Lord Valor, casting a dark shadow over their fragile alliance, its future now hanging precariously in the balance. Lord Odgash's castle erupts into chaos as the narrator sets his sights on vengeance, but the demonic dragon and economic blockade forge a treacherous path forward, laden with unseen dangers and uncertain outcomes. You're awfully noisy for a hostage. You were close to me, weren't you? Kai's tone is mocking, but his words are a twisted reminder of my past humiliation. I grit my teeth, keeping my rage in check. Just thinking about the humiliation he made me suffer still makes me tremble with rage. Kai's words cut deep, and I feel my anger boiling over. I try to keep my cool, but it's no use. I'm trapped in this hellhole, forced to relive my past mistakes. I'm pathetic, but what are you going there? Nothing you can do to me, Valpurgi's.
Bayern's men are closing in. He wants to take out Bayern, but his past humiliation by Valor blocks him. He can't resist the temptation to confront his enemy. Bayern's eyes flicker to Valor, and he sneers. Who? Everything was going so smoothly this time too. I knew I should have gone to the capital myself. Bayern's face darkens. He has no idea what's waiting for him. Bayern's anger is boiling over. He wants to take down Bayern, but his past humiliation by Valor blocks him. He can't resist the temptation to confront his enemy. Bayern's eyes lock onto Valor, and he snarls. Who? Everything was going so smoothly this time too, and Bayern's men are running for their lives. They don't know what's going on. Bayern's past humiliation by Valor is a personal stake. He can't resist the temptation to confront his enemy. Bayern's eyes lock onto a familiar face, and he growls. You were the one who ambushed me and dragged me to the Valpurga convent. His voice is a low snarl. He mustn't let his guard down.
As a member of the Valpurga convent, I mustn't let my guard down.
Bayern's eyes flash with anger. He remembers the pain and the humiliation. Bayern's fists clench and he takes a step forward. He's determined to take down the one who hurt him.
Bayern's rage explodes into a fury of accusations as he confronts the hidden traitor among his own men, shattering his trust and exposing the web of deceit that threatens to destroy him. Bayern's world is turned upside down as he loses his grip on his men's loyalty, forced to confront the dark truth that his most trusted allies may be working against him, forever changing his perspective. The chaos erupts as Bayern's men scatter, leaving him face to face with the treacherous Valor, who stands ready to strike, his eyes burning with a sinister intensity that sends shivers down Bayern's spine. The economy has collapsed and the castle is gone. Igor's family is on the brink of disaster. The soldiers' medical treatment is complete, but the soldiers are now out of work. Igor's father is frustrated. He wants to know if the army is ready. Igor is desperate. He wants to prove himself. I'm ready. When do I start? His father looks at him with a mix of disappointment and desperation. Igor's future hangs in the balance, and that's not even the worst part. In the unforgiving world of the Warriors Guild, strength is the only currency that matters. Instructor Riker's words cut deep, a cold assessment of worth.
As the ground trembles beneath his feet, Lanya's eyes snap open, locking onto the figure of a mysterious warrior emerging from the dust cloud. What's that? Lanya's voice cuts through the chaos, but before anyone can answer, the man's cold gaze falls upon him, and in a voice that sends shivers down Lanya's spine, he growls, "You're not here to witness the end of the world." Igor's father sends his familiar to rescue Igor and escape the collapsing fortress. Igor is left to fend for himself, but he's determined to survive. Igor's father is calm him down, but Igor's temper is still raging. Valpurgi's take my hand. Okay. Fortress collapsing in 5 seconds. Hurry. Valor. Charter. Avo. YV. The key action or twist of this chapter is playing out in heart-stopping fashion as Igor, Valor, and Lanya frantically scramble to escape the collapsing fortress, their lives hanging precariously in the balance. The emotional stakes spiral out of control as Igor's desperation to survive clashes with the mysterious warrior's unyielding calm, leaving their fragile bond hanging by a thread, its future uncertain. The cliffhanger leaves viewers gasping for air as the fortress's ominous countdown relentlessly ticks down, its final seconds threatening to crush the trio beneath its rubble, their fate hanging precariously in the balance. The rubble comes crashing down, mere seconds from crushing me. Valor barely makes it in time. I'm glad I got here when I did. Cubalt's voice cuts through the chaos. My lord, you have a call. That's when he sees Valor, and his expression changes. Those Ritter wretch must have kidnapped him. Valor! Margaret's voice rises above the din, her words laced with a hint of desperation. Those insane Ritter wretch. They've been kidnapping children from Valpurgi's convent. Cubalt's eyes narrow. He's been searching for these vermin for months. I've been tracking them as well, and I'm not going to let them get away now. What comes next changes everything. Valor's just become an official knight, but with that comes a price tag. He's obtained a knight territory, but what does that really mean for his safety? The Ritter that harassed Valpurgi's is gone, but the threat is still out there. It's just been repackaged. Valor's got a tough gig. She's been kidnapped by the Ritter, and they're not exactly the friendly type. She's in a precarious situation, with debris crashing down around her. The Ritter are known for their violent tactics, and Valor's safety is at risk.
Stop. You're wrong.
What comes next changes everything. What comes next changes everything. Fear nothing, and devour anything that moves.
Demonic dragon is mine. Valor finds herself face to face with a Ritter, her kidnapper. As the air is filled with the sound of debris crashing down around her, her fate hanging precariously in the balance. Valor's official title as a knight comes with a steep price. The weight of responsibility, the burden of safety, and the crushing loss of her anonymity, forcing her to confront the harsh realities of her new status. As the situation escalates, the tension is palpable. A Ritter's sinister intentions looming large, and Valor's sense of security shattered, leaving her vulnerable and exposed, with no clear escape in sight. With his voice laced with a mix of frustration and determination, General Lee Ryung orders his team to stand down. No rampage, only you, cold-blooded. His eyes lock onto the mysterious assassin, a silent understanding passing between them, that this time only one of them would walk away. Dialogue. Understood. HMN, are you agreeing so easily? Then let begin. Olal, my mind feels like it's flying away. Focus, keep sharp. Where Brevade Point 220 and Thibaut LEC led than when it was with Margaret. The stakes rise. Every second matters.
What wrong with you? That expression doesn't suit you. You! Stop talking nonsense. Let proceed with the ritual, right? Well, being darker than darkness itself, deeper than the abyss, a small and insignificant being humbly requests an audience. Oh! The situation erupts. You're coming. The Grand Lord of Darkness is about to unleash a rampage-like event. The Grand Lord of Darkness is desperate, with a hint of frustration and possibly fear. You're not sure what's happening or what's about to happen.
Stop. You're wrong.
The Grand Lord of Darkness is losing control. The ground shakes, and the air is charged with electricity. You feel the energy building up. The Grand Lord of Darkness raises its hands, and a massive storm erupts. And that's not even the worst part. The Grand Lord of Darkness is summoning something ancient, and the air is thick with an otherworldly energy. You can feel the power coursing through its veins, and the ground begins to crack. The storm intensifies, and the winds howl. It's clear that the Grand Lord's power is beyond your control. You guys are always like this. You're face to face with the Grand Lord's minion, the demonic dragon. The air is thick with tension, and the outcome is far from certain.
The Grand Lord of Darkness unleashes a colossal burst of energy, summoning an ancient and powerful being that shakes the foundations of the realm, leaving the very fabric of reality in shambles. Aria's fate hangs precariously in the balance as she's forced to confront the dark forces within herself, her resolve and convictions tested by the Grand Lord's influence, her heart torn between loyalty and mortality. The demonic dragon looms large, its presence exuding an aura of malevolence, as Margaret Fontash's ominous warning hangs in the air, leaving Arya with an impossible choice. Honor her contract or defy the Grand Lord's will. Ha 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 ha. Demonic dragon Schwartz Teufel. Eve come to take revenge for my pig-headed father. Fight her. Cursed it. I don't know, I exhausted too. Right now can barely due to the gift of boiling abyss your HP temporarily drops me. I can turn an even higher ranked being into an undead, because the target is a H. Right now, the only support I receive is from the Gravekeep. Still haven't learned anything about the other supporter. But Sissel nothing to me. As the young warrior Riker gazed into the scornful eyes of his superior, he felt the familiar burning sensation in his chest, the flame of hatred fanning the embers of his brutal upbringing. You're nothing but vermin, only knowing brute force. The older man spat, fingers drumming against the hilt of his sword. Shubi unleashes his undead ally, and the creature charges at Schwartz Teufel with a ferocity that's almost impossible to defend against. Schwartz Teufel tries to dodge, but the creature is too fast. It bites down on Schwartz Teufel's shoulder, and the villain lets out a pained scream. You're finished. Kale, the cold-blooded warrior, stands at the edge of the battlefield, his piercing gaze scanning the chaos below. His sword slices through the air, a blur of steel and shadow as he cuts down enemy after enemy. You think death is the end? He growls, his voice like a winter storm. I'll show you the true meaning of nothingness. With a feral cry, he charges into the fray. You trusted that man for 3 years. Every handshake was a performance. Shubi's eyes flash with anger as he remembers the deceit and betrayal that led him to this moment. His undead ally stands by his side, ready to face the consequences of their actions. Shubi's undead ally unleashes a maelstrom of darkness, biting down on Schwartz Teufel's arm as the two enemies clash in a frenzy of chaos and revenge. The weight of Shubi's trust is shattered, his eyes blazing with a fire of anger and betrayal as he confronts the man who deceived him for 3 long years. Shubi's rage hangs in the balance, poised like a razor's edge, as Schwartz Teufel's true intentions are left shrouded in darkness, threatening to unleash a storm of consequences. The lady's words cut through Zagro's doubts, but he's still uncertain about what to do. He's torn between his loyalty to the lady and his own survival instincts. The lady's gaze is piercing, as if daring him to make a move. Suddenly, she speaks up again. Asterisk, asterisk. He feels a surge of power, and his eyes narrow in focus.
You have interfered with the will of the world. Game difficulty increases.
And that's not even the worst part. What's waiting for him on the other side of this seal? Zagro's face is set in a determined grimace as he prepares to face the unknown. The lady's words still echo in his mind, but he knows he can't back down now. He's ready to face whatever fate has in store for him.
A body part of the sealed archdemon's death final thrashing. The shadowy forces hiding behind it trying to undo the seal.
And the answer is already too late. Whatever is waiting for him is closing in fast. Zagro's eyes lock onto the seal, his grip on his sword tightening as he decides to face whatever lies within. He knows the lady's words were not just a warning, but a prophecy. Zagro's unyielding resolve is laid bare as he chooses to shatter the world seal, unleashing a maelstrom of unbridled power that will forever alter the fabric of existence. The lady's desperate plea has fallen on deaf ears, leaving her with a crushing sense of loss and regret, the weight of her words hanging heavy in the silence that follows Zagro's fateful decision. As the ground trembles beneath his feet, the world teeters on the brink of catastrophe. The lady's words transformed from a warning into a haunting prophecy that will forever shape the course of Zagro's destiny. Valor's cold gaze sweeps the crowded streets as he pinpoints the latest poster plastered on a city wall, bearing his wanted image. His eyes narrow, a low growl simmering beneath the surface. Valor's thoughts blaze with indignation. Valpurgi's thought I'd gone missing, and now he's dragged me back into the spotlight. This reckless move will only put me and those I care about in greater danger. The air was electric with tension as Mari's roommate taunted her with sugary sweet compliments, but beneath the facade, their eyes locked in a silent warning. Suddenly, a phone rang, shattering the fragile calm. Who, seriously, with these orcs, how are we supposed to live? They're all line up in a long front beyond the Rhine River. WHI being a free city with no taxes is nice, but at times like tea at least they stat. Mine it exactly. Along the Rhine River the orc army of Pez Mut is spread. Eucalion was a true soldier. But there's no law that says they. Valpurgi's, Mari, and Margaret are in a desperate situation. The high abbess of the convent is missing, and the power vacuum is causing chaos in the convent. They're starving to death, and hope is dwindling. Valpurgi's, Mari, and Margaret have to find a solution fast.
Mari and Margaret are keeping the peace, but it's getting harder by the minute. The orcs are on the move, their leader, Lord Gugushrak, bellowing orders. Valpurgi's wants to reason with them, but they won't listen. His hands are shaking with rage, his face twisted in a snarl. He takes a deep breath, trying to calm down.
How dare you mock us orcs with some trashy poster like this?
But the orcs won't back down, their hunger for power and control driving them forward. Valpurgi's knows he's in a losing battle, but he refuses to give up. His eyes flash with defiance, his voice steady. What comes next changes everything.
The orcs, led by Lord Gu Gushrak, close in on the convent, their snarls and growls echoing through the desolate landscape. Valpurgis's desperation palpable in the air. Mari and Margaret's efforts to maintain order are on the brink of collapse. Their resolve tested by the constant threat of violence, the convent's future hanging precariously in the balance. Valpurgis's frantic search for the High Abyss is threatened by the orcs' relentless advance, the clock ticking down to a catastrophic confrontation that will leave only one party standing. I express my condolences regarding this Wittenbayer tragedy should no shame. Elector of Saxony-Hio, the Wittenbayer tragedy. In the year XX, the Elector of Saxony-Sanghal. Mange. Valor. Valor. Long live Sir Valor. Okay, everyone is welcoming you. Say a word to them. NMM. Finally to this position. Valor is on the verge of collapse, but he refuses to give up. He's got the people of Wittenbayer behind him, and he knows he can do this. He summons every last ounce of strength and launches a final attack. The Elector's men are caught off guard, and Valor takes advantage of the opening.
These guys.
But the Elector's not going down without a fight. Valor is standing tall, but the Elector's men are closing in fast. Valor knows he's got to be strategic. One wrong move and he's caught. He assesses the situation and comes up with a plan.
The Elector of Saxony, currently ranking first in the Imperial Protocol, stands tall, his voice echoing in the square. His reputation is built on mystery and power. Rarely does anyone even know his real name. His presence is commanding, and his eyes seem to pierce through the crowd. The citizens of Wittenbayer whisper among themselves, unsure of what to make of this enigmatic figure. He is the guardian of humanity's trivia, a title that holds weight and fear. His authority is unmatched, and that's not even the worst part.
The Elector's men are closing in on Valor, but he refuses to back down, unleashing a flurry of swift and deadly strikes that leave his foes reeling in disarray. Valor's refusal to yield comes at a steep emotional cost, as the toll of his unwavering determination begins to wear him down, threatening to crack his unshakable resolve. The Elector's true intentions remain shrouded in mystery, but one thing is certain. Valor's next move will be his most pivotal yet, as the fate of his reputation and possibly even his life hangs precariously in the balance.
Wait, when did you arrive? Roland? Sixtan. You know, right? That Pesamut is receiving support. Then I suddenly had a thought. You, Valor, are like comet that suddenly appeared. Schwarz Teufel, the demonic dragon of Grosslochner. Somehow it feels like I'm becoming Philip's replacement. You home money?
Power. Valor's eyes narrowed, his grip on the hilt of his sword tightening as he stood tall amidst the bustling streets of Fenheim. That man has dealings with us, he growled, his voice low and menacing. He even attended my knighting ceremony. Perfect timing, I'd say. Let's go. Valor's eyes lock onto Pesamut, his jaw set. He knows what he needs to do. His grip on his sword tightens, readying for battle. Pesamut's enthusiasm is infectious, but Valor keeps his guard up. The Grand Lord of Darkness supporting Pesamut. It's a game changer. Valor's eyes widen in surprise as he realizes the true extent of Pesamut's power. He wants to take down Pesamut, but what blocks him is his own sense of pride. Can he admit defeat? Valor decides to retreat, his sword sheathed as he looks down at Pesamut.
Thank you, my lord. Valor's jaw clenches in anger. The cost is his own pride, and the question remains, what will happen next?
What comes next changes everything. Valor's eyes flash with a fierce intensity as he unleashes his sword against Pesamut, the clash of steel on steel echoing through the air in a desperate bid to assert his dominance. Pesamut's unyielding dedication to justice has left Valor grappling with his own morals, his sense of honor torn asunder by the Grand Lord of Darkness's unexpected alliance. As the darkness closes in, Valor's grip on his sword tightens, his mind racing with the implications of Pesamut's true power. Will he unleash a storm that could change the course of their world forever?
The contract is signed, and your son is already walking on dead man's ground. Johannes von Till, the living legend, is about to become a pawn in a deadly game. His safety and freedom are on the line, and he's about to face the consequences of his decisions. You had that chance when you were still innocent, my boy. Tilly's words cut deep, but Johannes is not one to be swayed. He's been getting unwanted offers left and right, and he's started to reject them all. General Till's warning still lingers in his mind, but he's determined to forge his own path. And that's not even the worst part. Guys, nothing in this world is free. Johannes is beginning to tire, but he refuses to give up. He summons every last ounce of strength and launches a desperate attack. General Till stumbles back, caught off guard.
Because of that wretch Valor.
Johannes' hands won't stop moving. He checks the exit twice, his mind racing with possibilities. He thinks about the potential consequences of accepting the offer, the impact on the land and its people. He's worried about losing his freedom, his safety at risk due to unwanted offers.
I need to tell everyone outside about this situation.
Johannes is considering the offer, weighing the pros and cons. He knows that what happens next will change everything: his life, the lives of those around him, and the fate of the land. He's torn between the promise of security and the fear of losing control. He's on the verge of making a decision, but his instincts scream caution. He's not sure if he's ready for this kind of risk. What happens next will define his path, and he's not sure he's prepared for the consequences.
Johannes' world is turned upside down as he's confronted with a mysterious offer that could change the fate of his life, the land, and those he cares about in an instant, leaving him reeling with uncertainty. The weight of Johannes' decision has taken a toll on his emotional landscape, shattering any sense of stability and leaving him to grapple with the fear of losing everything he holds dear, including his own identity. Johannes is left teetering on the edge of a precipice, his future hanging precariously in the balance as he stands frozen, unable to take the next step or make the choice that will define the course of his destiny.
The city is on fire, but no one's talking about the real flames, the ones burning in our bellies. Everyone's gathered, trying to sound casual, but the LTL is all anyone can think about. Then steps forward, eyes locked on the others, as if daring them to say something. Yeah, let's hear it. Even I am looks.
Gritty streets of Reinfelden, a land torn apart by war. Kale, a skilled warrior, trudges through the desolate terrain, his weary eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of opportunity. I'm barely scraping by, he mutters to himself, the faintest glimmer of desperation creeping into his voice. The situation is dire, and the Water Demon Lord is not one to mince words. She charges into the fray, her powers raging out of control. The resulting explosion is catastrophic, and the outcome is far from certain. The battlefield is a maelstrom of destruction, and only one person can emerge victorious. But the real problem is already in motion. Bahamut's forces are now firmly entrenched within the kingdom's walls, leaving Arya to navigate the treacherous landscape as the fragile peace crumbles beneath her feet. Arya's fierce determination to protect her people has ignited a burning sense of purpose within her, but at what cost to her own well-being, as the weight of responsibility threatens to consume her. The Water Demon Lord's uncontrolled powers have set the stage for a catastrophic showdown between rival forces, with the kingdom's very survival hanging precariously in the balance, as the next chapter looms ominously.
We can't let them escape. The demons are still hesitating. Lady Margaret takes advantage of their momentary lapse in judgment.
In the frozen wasteland of Karelia, where steel-willed warriors roam, Kale infiltrates the enemy's ranks with calculated precision. His battle-hardened gaze sweeps across the camp, homing in on the commander, a ruthless leader with a taste for blood. A chilling whisper cuts through the wind. "Cut the crap! I'll devour them all." Kale's cold voice echoes in his mind. And that's not even the worst part. What comes next changes everything. Mari's on her feet, ready to roll. Valor asks if she's alright, and Mari says she's fine. But Valor's not buying it. Mari's in trouble,
and Amyun's the reason why. Kale's icy grip on his sword hilt unleashes a wave of tension as his whispered name, Kaido, hangs in the frigid air, foreshadowing a catastrophic reckoning. Mari's fragile facade crumbles under the weight of her secret, leaving Valor desperate to salvage the tenuous bond between them as they face the treacherous landscape of Amyun's manipulated powers. Nora's enigmatic smile conceals her true intentions, as Valor's precarious alliance hangs in the balance, poised on the razor's edge between conquest and catastrophe, with the Empire's wrath mere moments away.
Roland's goal is to crush Pez Am Ut's forces and claim the Empire's future. His obstacle is Pez Am Ut's retreating army, which is putting his troops to the test. He decides to push forward, despite the risk of losing more soldiers. His consequence is a heavy toll on his forces, but he presses on, determined to emerge victorious. And that's not even the worst part. You dare challenge me? Roland's forces are on the move, and Pez Am Ut is running out of options. The Emperor sees the situation unfolding and believes Roll-in will prove the stronger force.
The young warrior's eyes blazed with a fury that could melt steel as he charged into battle, his sword slicing through the enemy lines with an uncanny precision. His greatest foe stood before him, the cunning General Li, who sneered at the boy's audacity. "You think a child like you can defeat me?" he taunted. But the warrior's response was a cold, calculated smile that sent shivers down the general's spine. Valor bursts in, eager to share the news of their recent recruitments. Roll-in's attention is split between Valor's excitement and the Emperor's ongoing conversation. Roll-in's world is turned upside down as Jen, his greatest foe, emerges from the shadows, their eyes locked in a fierce stare that promises only bloodshed and chaos. Roll-in's doubts are alleviated, but at what cost? The Emperor's words bring him a fleeting sense of reassurance, only to leave him grappling with the weight of his own expectations. The Emperor's plan is already unraveling as Pez Am Ut closes in, Roll-in's forces the only barrier between his people and the destruction that lurks in the darkness. "Ah, General, you're here. There's something urgent I like too, as between the Monarch of Firemaker and the Prince-Elector try ho though that's a good idea. It won't be easy. The Lord O and if things go. Wait. Ihavia better plan. Titus warrior the attendant of the Lord of this castle. My name is Artag. This person is? He my attendant. I vouch for his identity. Understood. This way, please. Bastogne Castle office an honor, Valor. Everyone been talking about you. Rick, your reputation is quite something. My reputation.
General Rex's face twists in a mixture of pain and anger. Connor's words have struck a nerve, and he knows he must respond. He takes a step closer to Connor, his voice low and menacing. You think you know me? Connor stands his ground, his eyes locked on the general's. I know why you left the battlefield, he repeats, his voice steady. General Rex's eyes flash with anger, and he takes another step closer to Connor. The air is thick with tension. General Rex's anger boils over, and he slams his fist into the nearby wall. Connor flinches, but his eyes never leave the general's. You had your chance, General Rex snarls, his voice dripping with venom.
As General Rex's anger boils over, he slams his fist into the wall, the sound echoing through the room, leaving Connor shaken by the general's ominous presence. The emotional stakes are high as General Rex's expression darkens, betraying a deep-seated trust issue with Connor, leaving both men teetering on the edge of a catastrophic breakdown in their relationship. Richelieu's urgent quest for guidance hangs precariously in the balance, as General Rex's troubled face remains an enigma, refusing to yield to the pressure, setting the stage for a war-altering decision. The Order ***. Valor is desperate to kidnap Princess Julia, the only daughter of Lord Acre, the Fire Demon Lord. He's been ordered to do it recklessly, but now he's starting to question his mission. He remembers the warning Baston's cooperation is crucial,
and its safety is at risk of being compromised. He's torn between following orders and doing what's right. He recalls the words of Lord Valor, "The safety of Bastogne is not a priority."
Find Princess Julia.
And that's not even the worst part. And that's not even the worst part. Now, ZPF Bastogne Castle Rooftop Garden. The security at Jaker's Castle is tighter than you think. The whispers of the high-stakes tournament had finally reached the ears of the Elector of Trier's son, and now he stood face-to-face with the mysterious woman who just handed him a cryptic message. A message that would either seal his fate or catapult him to victory. As the snow-capped mountains bleed crimson, Arya unleashes a flurry of blades, her icy aura cutting down anyone who dares to stand in her way. "You're no match for the cold-blooded warrior," she growls, her voice like a winter storm, leaving a trail of bodies in her wake. The legend of Arya's ruthlessness spreads, striking fear into the hearts of her enemies.
The Elector of Trier's son and Lord Valor's true intentions are exposed in a shocking revelation, leaving Valor's mask shattered and his relationship with Artinian on the brink of collapse. Julia's world is turned upside down as she's forced to confront the harsh reality of her marriage to a man she doesn't love, her heart heavy with the weight of a future she never chose. Castellan's gaze lingers on Valor, his eyes burning with a mixture of concern and caution, as the air is thick with the promise of betrayal and the threat of war yet to come.
"Oh, watch yourself. Among the demons, they say she treated like devil. The setup. How does that sound? Guests only need to show up. We'll hand yes, father. Please give us your permission. Oh, woman. Leon. To be cold-blooded, oi, congratulations. Young Master Leon. Princess Julia, you're so beyond demon wretch. They're fighting even here. Artinian, no Kaom think they trust right now? They'll repay this someday no matter what. Okay, 50% interest, are you a thug or what? They say Aker, the demon king of fire, has formed a marriage at once. Start by flattening yes. Lady Amyand, please leave this mobilization to me. I'll prove myself. Fine, I'll give you aquatic demons. Do whatever you aquatic demons, listen up. Commander will be me, Wallenstein. Guardian of Humanity. Trivia. Julia and Leon have been a famu.
Leon's world is turned upside down as he makes a life-altering commitment to Princess Julia, sealing his fate with a vow that will forever change the course of his destiny in profound ways. The emotional toll on Leon is palpable as he struggles to maintain a facade of confidence, hiding the turmoil that threatens to consume him beneath a mask of bravado and determination. As the stage is set for a grand mobilization, Trier's military is poised to unleash its full fury, leaving Leon with an impossible choice. Can he truly leave the fate of humanity in the hands of Commander Wallenstein, a man shrouded in mystery and tainted by scandal?
The executioner at your door ***, you feel the earth shudder beneath your feet as the demons burst through the gates of Vi Ten Bayer. The very fabric of your world is unraveling. Your screams are drowned out by the crashing of wooden beams, the screams of the innocent, and the thunder of demonic hooves. Suddenly, the ground stops shaking. The demons halt their advance, and an unearthly stillness falls over the battlefield. Your heart skips a beat as you see him, General Nahas Iktiainan, the legendary warrior of the Lord's army, standing tall amidst the chaos. His eyes burn with an unyielding determination, and his presence seems to command the demons to retreat. General Nahas Iktiainan gives a swift order, his voice firm. Temporary commander nods, his eyes flicking towards the enemy lines. General, we're ready to execute your plan. What's the signal? General Nahas Iktiainan's eyes lock onto the enemy's position. The moment of truth. The battle rages on, the two armies clashing in a frenzy of steel and fire. General Nahas Iktiainan watches, his eyes fixed on the enemy's commander, the one person who can turn the tide of this fight. Fire at will, but keep your crossbows charged. We need to keep them pinned down.
The key action or twist of this chapter is General Nahas Ikti non-locks eyes with the enemy commander, a cold smile spreading across his face as he unleashes his most daring plan yet. The emotional stakes that General Nahas Ikti non gained is his unwavering confidence and unshakable trust in his instincts have now transformed him into an unstoppable force, leaving his team in awe of his unrelenting determination. The cliffhanger is General Nahas Ikti non's bold move sends the battlefield into chaos, and as the dust settles, Wallenstein Amy's frantic voice echoes through the chaos. General, we're falling into the trap. We need to retreat. Now. Pez, the ruthless leader of Mutt's army, has heard the rumors of a capable soldier within his own ranks. Button believes the soldier will rise to become a general in Am Yundes forces, a move that would threaten Pez's power. Pez is not pleased. He seeks the soldier out, his anger simmering just below the surface. But he has no idea who is waiting in the shadows, watching his every move. Even my lord, Mutz, is aware of the rumors. He speaks to Pez, his tone measured but with a hint of concern. Pez explains the situation, his words dripping with venom.
You have no control over your own soldiers.
The meeting begins, a discussion of the Am Yundes subjugation. Leaf sees a chance to use the meeting to her advantage, to manipulate the attendees into doing her bidding. She leans forward, her eyes locked on the soldier. The soldier's eyes flicker, a hint of recognition in them. Leaf's anger spikes. She knows he's more than just a simple soldier. The soldier's hand tightens on the hilt of his sword. Leaf's smile grows wider.
You're not what I expected.
The meeting descends into chaos, attendees arguing and shouting. Leaf sees an opportunity to use the chaos to her advantage. She leans back in her chair, a cold smile on her face.
And that's not even the worst part. He understands the situation now. You plan to deal with this crisis. Even at this very moment, there's an increase in their numbers. You're asking Valor that? That's a perfectly reasonable question. 3 days? I'll put an end to that worry in 3 days. Pez looks like he's about to explode. His eyes are blazing with anger. He takes a step forward, his fists clenched.
Who are you? He growls. Valor smirks, his face a mask of confidence.
Pez's underestimation of his enemy is shattered as Valor unleashes a flurry of swift and precise attacks, leaving him on the brink of collapse with a mixture of shock and fury. Leaf's growing desperation is palpable as she grapples with the reality of their dwindling numbers and the catastrophic consequences of an ill-timed attack, her frustration threatening to consume her. The air is tense with unresolved hostility as Valor's mysterious presence lingers, his unnerving confidence and Pez's seething anger hanging precariously in the balance, setting the stage for a disastrous confrontation.
Lord Valor has a goal: to prolong the suffering of the cute elf who's about to be auctioned off. He's surrounded by the merchant, the auctioneer, and Lena, who's there to strengthen the bond between them. The obstacle is the elf's impending fate. Lord Valor's action is to mock the merchant and the auctioneer, making light of the situation. The consequence is that the prices for the elf continue to rise, and Lena gets a closer look at the artifact. Stop. You're wrong. And that's not even the worst part. The real problem is already in motion. Petrification is spreading, and the elf's only hope is the artifact's power. And that's not even the worst part. The bidding continues, with the price skyrocketing to 500,000 florins. The merchant and the auctioneer are in a heated exchange. The merchant offers 700,000 florins, and the auctioneer responds, 500,000 has been offered. 700,000. Lord Valor watches with a mixture of confusion and concern. He has no idea what's waiting. The bidding continues, with Lord Valor's face turning red with anger. He offers 800,000 florins, and the merchant counters with 1,000,000 florins. Lord Valor's jaw drops as he realizes the true value of the elf. The merchant smirks, confident in his bid. The answer is already too late. Lord Valor is alone now, and that's not even the worst part. Lord Valor storms towards the auctioneer, his long strides eating up the distance. The auctioneer doesn't flinch, his eyes fixed on the bids. Lord Valor wants to shut down the auction, to put a stop to this charade. But the auctioneer is unfazed, his voice calm and collected. Lord Valor's anger is rising, but he can't quite reach the auctioneer.
Where do you think you're going?
Lord Valor's face twists in rage as he charges towards the auctioneer, his long strides devouring the distance in a desperate bid to stop the madness. His pride and control are shattered, his sense of security crumbling as the auctioneer remains unfazed, fueling Lord Valor's fury. The fate of the cute elf hangs precariously in the balance as Lord Valor's intervention sparks a chain reaction, plunging the auction into chaos. The king's mercy is an illusion, and I'm about to rip the noose that's strangling these slaves. My lord's patience is wearing thin, and I'm not here to make friends. I've got a job to do, and it doesn't involve coddling the nobles' egos. My boss is already livid, and I'm the one who's going to pay for it. His face is twisted in rage as he yells at me. I just smile and give him a nod. I've taken care of the nobles, and now it's time to bring in the slaves. We're not done yet, Hama. You think you can just leave. And that's not even the worst part. But what's he going to do about it? The slaves are not backing down. The slaves are getting more aggressive by the minute. They're pushing against the restraints, trying to break free. My lord's staying in control, but it's clear he's losing his grip. I glance over at the slaves, and I can see the fire in their eyes. They're not going to give up without a fight.
Don't make us do this. My lord's expression turns cold. He's not one to be intimidated.
My lord's losing patience. He's sending Hama, a skilled but reckless mercenary, along with a few loaches to take care of the slaves. My lord's tone is cold, but I can see the concern in his eyes. He knows these slaves are trouble, but he doesn't know what to do about it. And that's not even the worst part. The slaves are getting more aggressive by the minute. They're pushing against the restraints, trying to break free. What's going to happen next is anyone's guess.
As the slaves' desperation reaches a boiling point, Hama's attempt to quell the uprising is met with brutal force, sending shockwaves throughout the entire operation. Hama's recklessness has already pushed my lord to his limits, but the true cost of his actions is only now beginning to sink in, threatening to destroy everything he holds dear. The true extent of the slaves' plan remains shrouded in mystery, leaving Brian on edge as he waits to see how it will all unfold, and who will survive the chaos that's about to erupt.
The gift. Woo. He good with directions. He better than you such arrogance. OVOL. I have no need to worry about such. He realizes too late that his opponent is not what he seems. The figure begins to laugh maniacally, the sound sending shivers down his spine. His eyes widen in horror as the dark moon's power surges out of control. I have no need to worry about such. What's happening? He falls into the abyss, the world around him crumbling. He thinks this time might be different, that he's prepared for whatever is coming. But still, the ground gives way beneath him, and he plummets into the unknown. He screams, his voice lost in the void. Abyss gift is being strengthened. Your stats are dramatic, all warning. Warning. Kukuku. Done put on airs you brat. Thing Tim o knock matter.
Phew. The woman unleashes her full power, shattering Brian's defenses as his eyes widen in shock, his strength and arrogance crumbling before her unyielding force. Brian's confidence has been shattered, his arrogance pierced by the woman's unrelenting ferocity, leaving him reeling from the devastating blow to his already fragile emotional state. The abyss gift within him is being awakened, its power surging out of control as ominous warnings blare in his mind, threatening to consume him whole in a maelstrom of unbridled chaos.
Bahama, did you really think I back down like this? You wretch will eventually be defeated. Amyund, that coward. Cursed it. Need to hurry. Need to contact General Till. No matter what it takes. Abyss. Done make a fuss. That woman can do anything. Delicious. Innkeeper, what kind of food is this? Homo it called free. You've arrived, Zaguro. I owe you or there nothing unusual. Izar, a moment ago, I received a word from Chaltz. After stay wait, but his enemy, Zaguro, is relentless. He's been given too many chances already. Kai knows he's running out of time. Kai's world is crumbling, he's failed. And now he's faced with the consequences. His mind is racing with the cost of his failure. The lives lost, the alliances broken. He knows he's not alone in his despair, but he's the one who has to live with the shame. His eyes drop to the ground, and his shoulders slump in defeat.
You've had enough chances.
Kai's desperate plea to General Till sets in motion a catastrophic chain of events, putting his entire operation at risk of collapse, and his comrades in the line of fire. Kai's pride and reputation hang precariously in the balance as he grapples with the weight of his failure, the lives lost, and the fragile alliances he's broken, threatening to consume him whole. As Kai's world unravels, Seguro's relentless pursuit closes in, leaving no room for error, and Kai's very survival hangs precariously in the balance, the outcome hanging by a thread.